Yesterday we saw the importance of marketing as to why marketing is undertaken by the companies. So let's revise it again. So it is an effective way of engaging with customers. It helps in reputation building for the company. It helps in building relationship with the customers. Then it is a communication channel to inform the customers about our product or our service or anything. Then it helps in boosting sales. Then it provides insights about target audience. It helps also in maintaining relevance in business. Then it creates new revenue opportunities as to how new uses of a particular product can be discovered, and it helps management in making informed decisions. We also saw as to who undertakes marketing, wherein we saw two different parties, namely the marketer who is trying to sell the product. The product here essentially means these all entities would be referred to as product. Clear? That is good, service, event, experience, person, places, properties, organization, information, and ideas. All of these are products. So a product is not essentially just one particular item that we can touch, but it is anything out of these all things. Clear? Yeah. So a marketer would be undertaking marketing campaigns and marketing activities in order to sell any of those 10 different items that we saw, which are known as products. Okay. Then there is a prospect, that is who is going to buy our product. That person is known as prospect, or whose needs are getting satisfied, that is known as a prospect. Now, what does a marketer do? We also saw that. So he would be analyzing the demand of a particular commodity or a product that is going to get marketed. Then he would try to alter the level of demand by creating advertising campaigns which would motivate people to demand more or consume more. Then he would be timing the product in such a launch of product in such a manner that he would be able to understand, or sorry, he would be able to generate the maximum possible sales that can be undertaken for that particular product. And he would be trying to alter the composition of the product. Like for example, when I add something into a chemical mix, then the reaction would be something else. So in the same manner, he would be trying to altering the composition of a particular product's demand in order to motivate the people to buy more. For example, if I am having if I want to buy a pen, then I have many options. Yes or no? I can buy a 3 rupee wala pen. I can buy a 200 rupee wala pen also, or I can buy a 1000 rupees pen as well. So by appealing to our basic nature, he would be trying to alter the composition of our demand. For example, he would be saying, okay, the 10 rupee pen would be writing twice as more as the 3 rupee pen, or thrice as more as a 3 rupee pen. Further, the design is very good, or something like that. He would be trying to market the product and try to influence our buying decisions in a manner that we would be able to get the most benefit out of this particular product. That is, he would try to convince us. Okay, marketing is basically an activity wherein you try to convince the people in order to buy your product. Now, today we would be seeing the different types of demand. Now there are 8 types of demands which a marketer would be generally facing. Okay, 8 different types of demand है, और हर डिमांड के लिए अलग अलग मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटजी अडॉप्ट की जाती है मार्केटर की तरफ से. Now the first demand type of demand is negative demand. Now as the name suggests, I don't want to demand that particular product. Okay, let's take an example. This is a very classic example that is used in all the books that we study. The example is that of a hospital. No one wants to visit a hospital. Does anyone want to visit a hospital? I don't think so. Anyone wants to visit a hospital. But hospital services are essential. So they are in existence. Okay. Whenever we are told that we are going to take you to a hospital, or you have to take this medicine or anything, the first reaction that we have is that of this boy. We would be saying, nay, 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 we don't want a medicine, we don't want to go to a hospital. Yes or no? No one wants to visit a hospital. Now the present times the that we are in existing at the moment are of this kind, that if we are sick, then we have to visit a hospital because we don't know what we are suffering from. So as a result, either we have to go to a hospital or go to a testing center which is in a hospital or near a hospital. So generally, as a as we want to avoid going to hospital, we are wearing a mask. ओके, तो ये नेगेटिव डिमांड है. समझ में आया? मास्क की डिमांड क्यों है? बिकॉज वी डोंट वांट टू गो टू अ हॉस्पिटल, दैट्स व्हाई द डिमांड ऑफ मास्क इज देयर. समझ में आ रहा है? मास्क पहले सर्जिकल मास्क या N95 मास्क हम लोग पहन के घूमते नहीं थे बाहर, पर अभी क्योंकि सिचुएशन ऐसी है एंड वी वांट टू अवॉइड गोइंग टू अ हॉस्पिटल, वी आर demanding mask. So this is a negative demand. In order to avoid certain other product, we are demanding another product. Okay, product A को avoid करने के लिए हम product B की demand कर रहे हैं. Product B की demand वैसे थी नहीं. The demand for mask was not there for normal people, but now because we don't want to go to a hospital, we are demanding the mask. Clear? Negative demand समझ में आया? Negative demand, essentially, in one sentence, if I have to summarize, it is demand for another product in order to avoid some other product. Okay, demand for a product to avoid some other product is a negative demand. That is, we don't want something, that's why we are demanding another thing. समझ में आया? In the same manner, अगर हम लोग कोई भी मेडिसिन की बात करें, दैट इज ऑल्सो अ नेगेटिव डिमांड. वी डोंट वांट टू सफर फ्रॉम अ डिसीज, और we don't want a exorbitant bill from a hospital, so we take a medicine. Clear? Health professional services always are of a negative demand. समझ में आया? We don't want their services, but we have to take their services in order to avoid a major expense. Like for example, if I go on for a blood test, I am having a fever, I go for a blood test to check whether I have a malaria or anything else, then it is a negative demand, because I don't want to have malaria. No one likes to have malaria, no one likes to have these diseases, so they undertake a preventive health checkup, heart checkups, in order to avoid heart attacks. That is also a negative demand. Clear? So ये सारी चीजें negative demand की examples है. So whenever a marketer is faced with negative demand, he has to highlight what the customer is trying to avoid. क्लियर? इसीलिए जितने भी अभी कोविड-19 के एड्स चल रहे हैं, वहां पे यही दिखाया जाता है कि आप वायरस को अवॉइड कर सकते हो. यू कैन अवॉइड द वायरस बाय यूजिंग दिस प्रोडक्ट. यू कैन अवॉइड गोइंग टू अ हॉस्पिटल बाय डूइंग दिस, यूजिंग दिस प्रोडक्ट. So all of these ads are examples of negative demand. In the same manner, to avoid a brain injury caused by an accident while traveling on a two-wheeler, you would be having एडवर्टाइजमेंट फॉर हेलमेट्स. क्लियर? सो हेड इंजुरी ना हो इसीलिए आप हेलमेट पहनिए. हेड इंजुरी किसी को नहीं चाहिए, इसीलिए आप हेलमेट खरीदिए. क्लियर? अगेन वी आर reaching out to a hospital here. In the generally seat back tires, what they show is that the ads that they are having is that a father is taking a baby out for a walk, and they are in a pram, and he's walking haphazardly on the road, and a person who is going on a, he's talking on phone and taking her out on a pram, and the road is very crowded. Then a person having C8 bike tires would be riding a bike with C8 bike tires would be coming, and the father changes the course of his way in a very what you call sudden manner, and he applies brakes, so the bike immediately comes to a halt. Yeah. So what they are saying is that if you want to avoid a major accident, you need to use our tires because we have superior quality grip and all of those things. Yeah. The second ad that is very popular of C8 bike tires is a husband and wife are returning after watching a movie, and they are traveling on a very empty road, and suddenly a car comes. समझ में आया? तो क्या वो कह रहे हैं कि इफ यू वांट टू अवॉइड सच एक्सीडेंट्स, यू नीड टू have C8 bike tires. They are showing our roads and are driving in a negative manner to market their products. The road is full of potholes, and they are saying that in spite of all of those things, you would be having a very comfortable ride because you are having C8 bike tires. So what they are doing is they are highlighting the negative aspects of our driving, or negative aspects of our roads, or negative aspects of any particular person, that they are talking on phone and they are traveling and all of those things, and they are highlighting it, that they all of these things cannot be avoided, but accidents can be avoided by using our tires. क्लियर? तो ये एग्जाम्पल है नेगेटिव डिमांड का, दैट इज वी वांट डोंट वांट समथिंग सो वी बाय अनदर थिंग. क्लियर? Now the next type of demand is non-existent demand. That is, the demand does not exist. I don't want that product because either I am not aware of that product or I don't need that product. मुझे उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, या फिर मुझे उसके बारे में पता भी नहीं है. I don't know that that particular product exists, or I don't have any sort of need of that particular product. For example, non-existent demand, we are all commerce students. Yeah, we don't want to buy quantum physics book. हमें क्वांटम फिजिक्स की बुक की जरूरत नहीं है. Why? Because we are commerce students. So this is an example of non-existent demand. I don't want that product. The product does not carry any sort of utility for me, so I don't demand that product. Clear? That is a non-existent demand. दोनों चीजें अनरिलेटेड है. कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट के लिए फिजिक्स की बुक की जरूरत नहीं है. क्लियर? कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट के लिए अगर आप अकाउंट की बुक दोगे तो वो हैप्पी रहेगा, मार्केटिंग की बुक दोगे तो वो हैप्पी रहेगा, इकोनॉमिक्स की बुक दोगे तो वो हैप्पी रहेगा. बाकी उसे साइंस से रिलेटेड किसी भी प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस की जरूरत नहीं है. इन द सेम मैनर, you are all BCom students, so you don't need your 12th standard books. या फिर 10th स्टैंडर्ड के बुक्स की अभी फिलहाल आपको जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि आप बीकॉम में पढ़ रहे हैं. सो ग्रेजुएशन में, अंडर ग्रेड में है, इसीलिए आपको स्कूल की बुक्स की ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है. क्लियर? इन द सेम मैनर, इफ आई एम लिविंग इन desert, then I don't need an umbrella. I don't need a raincoat. Why? Because there is not going to be any rain. Instead, I would need air condition, I would need refrigerator, but I don't need a umbrella or a raincoat. Clear? So in the same manner, non-existent demand says that the customer and the product that you are trying to market are unrelated with each other. So वहाँ पे demand होगी ही नहीं. That is, demand is not there. It is absent. Then there is an example, there is another demand, that is latent demand. Latent demand का मतलब ये है कि I need something. I have a wish which cannot be fulfilled with the present particular products that are available, which are not getting fulfilled with the existing technology that I have. For example, I want to come to each of your house and teach you physically, live over there. मेरा एक होलोग्राम इमेज बन जाना चाहिए, और आपके साथ में मैं आपके सामने, जैसे मैं अभी अपने घर में बैठ के पढ़ा रही हूँ, वैसे आपके घर में मैं बैठ के पढ़ाऊँ, ऐसी मेरी इच्छा है. बट वी डोंट हैव दैट पर्टिकुलर टेक्नोलॉजी नाउ. इज इट क्लियर? सो इट इज अ लेटेंट डिमांड. लेटेंट डिमांड, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, the world is full of all sort of chaos now since 1.5 years. So we don't have colleges. Yes or no? अभी हम लोग colleges जा नहीं रहे हैं. Physically हम लोग अभी तक नहीं जा रहे हैं. So as a result, in order to, as we are not able to go to college and study over there, so what we are doing is that Zoom and Google Meet are trying to fulfill this demand. That is, education should not stop. ये demand को fulfill करने के लिए Zoom और Google Meet step up कर गए हैं. Clear? So as a result, what happens? Latent demand is something that some activity cannot be undertaken, or some activity is non-existent, or some activity is absent at the moment, and in order to meet those particular needs, wants and desires, someone is identifying them and creating a product for them. Okay, unfulfilled wants and desires को आपको identify करने. Marketing is all about this. ओके, लेटेंट डिमांड को आप आइडेंटिफाई करिए और उसको आप कैसे फुलफिल करोगे. यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट वेज इन ऑर्डर टू फुलफिल दैट डिमांड. Zoom and Google Meet have been the top players during this situation, wherein they not only cater to education, they also help the corporates in order to undertake activities. Now there is a what you call shift in the way in which people are working. Majority of IT companies are nowadays saying that in spite of the country getting opened up, we might shift to work in the remote मोड ओनली. रिमोट मोड में मीन्स वर्क फ्रॉम होम पे ही हम लोग काम करें, क्योंकि लोगों को ट्रैवल करने की जरूरत नहीं होगी, फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट. सेकेंडली, even if we could avoid traveling, even if it is not a very big issue, the office expenses reduce. ओके, अगर आप पहले 100 लोग एक जगह पे काम कर रहे थे, सो 100 पीपल को accommodate करने के लिए you needed a big building. Now if only 20 people come to office, you can work in a small room as well. Clear? So आप पहले जितना पहले से कंपेयर्ड में 1/4 एरिया में आप काम कर पाओगे. So latent demand is basically something which is there, which has to be fulfilled. It is an unfulfilled desire of a particular customer, and the companies try to fulfill that particular demand. So every time a company would be trying to fulfill it, the latent demand of the customer. एक ऐसी डिमांड होगी जो कस्टमर के माइंड में है कि अगर ये होता तो अच्छा रहता. लाइक माई डिजायर इज, आई वॉन्ट टू बी फिजिकली प्रेजेंट लुकिंग एट योर फेसेस while teaching all of you, but that is not possible for me now with the existing technology. Clear? हमारे पास जो टेक्नोलॉजी है वैसे टेक्नोलॉजी है, that is my holographic image can be transported to all of your houses, but it is not feasible for us, it is not affordable for us. टेक्नोलॉजी अभी कौन सी अफोर्डेबल है? दैट इज वी कैन यूज गूगल मीट, वी कैन यूज जूम एंड अंडरटेक क्लासेस. यू कैन सी मी, but I am not able to see all of you together, because if you all switch your videos, then our internet capacity would be not be able to justify what we are trying to do. Clear? So latent demand, something which is unfulfilled sort of desire for a customer, and they are trying their best to use that particular product or service which is in existence to fulfill some extent of the demand. Clear? Another example of latent demand is, nowadays all of us are using smartphones. Yeah, हम सबके पास smartphones है. Majority of you people, because you are belong to the generation, current generation, you all would be active on Instagram. Yeah. Now Instagram, आप अपने फोन में कितने apps use करते हो हर रोज? How many apps do you use on your phone? If I list it out, I use an alarm clock app in order to get up. Then after, I would be using Google Chrome in order to see my mail, check my mails and everything, the news that is there. Then I would be using like WhatsApp in order to chat with my friends. Then I would be using Google Calendar in order to see when my class is starting. So this is 4. Okay. And out of that, only one social media app is there, that is WhatsApp. Okay. Then in my free time, I would be either watching YouTube in order to check out what is happening around the world, or I'd be logging on to Twitter to see what are people tweeting. So ये हो गए 6 apps मेरे फोन के. So मैं अपने apps गिन रही हूँ, समझ में आ रहा है? वैसे आपको भी अपने apps गिनने हैं और list out करने हैं. Everyone has to list out the apps that they use in their phones. Okay. Then I would be seeing Facebook app. Okay. Because my friends are more active on Facebook, so I see Facebook app. So in total, I have 7 apps that I watch or I use majorly on my phone, because I also trade. So I also trade in stocks and stocks. So I would be using my trading platform app daily. So there are 8 apps that I use on my phone. Okay. इससे ज्यादा मैं यूज नहीं करती. क्लियर? सो इन दिस वे, अब मेरे फोन में देर आर अबाउट 30-40+ apps. Okay, there is always a notification at the end of the day wherein they say that okay, these many apps have not been used by you, please zip them so that you can free up your space on the phone. So each and every app that I have downloaded on my phone was for a purpose. Yeah, at that time I needed it. अब मैं वो पर्पस भूल गई हूँ, इसकी वजह से आई एम नॉट यूजिंग दैट ऐप. वेन एवर दिस पर्टिकुलर डिमांड वुड अगेन अराइज दैट आई वॉन्ट टू यूज दिस ऐप, आई वुड स्टार्ट यूजिंग इट अगेन. So that is also an example of latent demand. I have for now forgotten that why I downloaded that particular application in my phone. So I am not using that particular app. As a result, what happens is that as soon as the particular app comes again, I would be using, I would be seeing that app and then I would be remembering, okay, I downloaded it for this purpose. Okay, so again, I would be starting to use that particular app. As a result, latent demand is not something that which we are having and or which desires that we have and they are not getting fulfilled, but they are also comprised of those demands which I have forgotten. अभी मुझे याद नहीं है कि मैंने वो क्यों डाउनलोड किया. Clear? So then there is declining demand, as the name suggests, that the demand goes on decreasing over a period of time. That is, when it was launched, then demand of that product was very high, but now there is no demand for the product. Let's take an example of it. Everyone has seen this particular type of clocks in your home. When I used to study in my 10th, 11th, 12th, we used to have this type of alarm clocks. I used to set up the alarm on this particular clock and it used to ring and we used to get up according to the time. Okay. अब ये तो भी मॉडर्न वाला है, इससे एंशियंट वाले भी थे जहाँ पे हमें उसके लिए चाबी देनी पड़ती थी सेटअप करने के लिए. सो दोज वर वेरी good sort of alarm clocks wherein you had to just give a chabi to it and they used to work without having any batteries. जो भी हम लोग अभी बैटरीज यूज करते हैं वैसे बैटरीज की जरूरत नहीं होती थी. So ये वाली जो अलार्म क्लॉक्स है, they used to be in very high demand during about like 18 to not 18 years, I would say about 15 years back. These used to be in very much high demand till 15 years back, because we didn't have phones, smartphones. So what we used to do is इस पे alarm clock set कर लिया और ये time पे बज जाता था. Now because we have smartphones and we can set multiple alarms, what happens is that there is no demand for this particular alarm clock, or the demand is declining. समझ में आ रहा है? It is getting out of the market. Product is getting out of the market. There is no increase in demand for these particular alarm clocks. As a result, what happens? कुछ सालों के बाद ये नहीं रहेंगे मार्केट में. They won't be existence. Only older products which have already been manufactured would remain in the market, and new products or new alarm clocks of this kind would not be manufactured. Clear? समझ में आया? डिक्लाइनिंग डिमांड, कोई एक ऐसी प्रोडक्ट जो पहले बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड में थी अब डिमांड के बाहर होती जा रही है. इट इज नॉट गेटिंग डिमांडेड. एग्जाम्पल ऑफ दैट, व्हेन वी हैड when earlier when we all of you listen to music, yes or no? When we listen to earlier, when we used to listen to music, I am saying when I was like in the year 1990s or 1990 91 और 2000 तक का जो भी रेंज है ईयर का, उस टाइम पे हम लोग म्यूजिक कैसे सुनते थे? कैसेट्स आते थे. क्लियर? कैसेट्स हमें प्लेयर में डालने होते थे, टेप प्लेयर में डालने होते थे. उसका साइड ए साइड बी होता है, उसको हम लोग डालते थे और वहां पे सॉन्ग्स बजते थे उसके ऊपर. धीरे धीरे जैसी सीडीज आ गए तो कैसेट्स आउटडेट हो गए, आउटडेटेड हो गए. अब क्योंकि म्यूजिक स्ट्रीमिंग के लिए हमारे पास प्राइम म्यूजिक है, यूट्यूब है और यूट्यूब म्यूजिक है, स्पॉटिफाई है, तो हम लोग CDs भी नहीं खरीद रहे हैं. Clear? So we are moving on from cassettes, the big gramophone players, to cassettes, to CDs, to म्यूजिक स्ट्रीमिंग. समझ में आ रहा है? तो जैसे जैसे नई टेक्नोलॉजी आती है तो पुराने टेक्नोलॉजी की डिमांड कम हो जाती है ना. ओल्ड रेडियो सिस्टम्स फिर से वापस आ रहे हैं. या ट्रू, बिकॉज पीपल आर अट्रैक्टेड टुवर्ड्स विंटेज गुड्स, सो इसीलिए ओल्ड रेडियो प्लेयर्स फिर से वापस आ रहे हैं. इट इज गुड. दैट इज न्यू ट्रेंड. अगेन द डिमांड वुड बी पिकिंग अप. सो इट इज अ साइकिल ऑफ डिमांड. समझ में आ रहा है? लाइफ साइकिल से पास हुआ है रेडियो सिस्टम्स. दैट इज पहले इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ, फिर पीक पे पहुंचा, फिर डिक्लाइन हुआ, फिर से री इंट्रोडक्शन चल रहा है. कोई एक प्रोडक्ट जिसकी डिमांड पहले थी अब धीरे धीरे कम होती जा रही है. दैट इज डिक्लाइनिंग डिमांड. सो व्हेनेवर डिक्लाइनिंग डिमांड इज देयर, द कंपनी वुड बी ट्राइंग टू market the product in a different manner. Like when alarm clocks used to be there earlier, they were marketed to get up on time. Now if we want to market alarm clocks, we would be saying okay, टेबल के ऊपर आप कुछ रख के सीधा देख सकते हैं, आपको बार बार फोन चालू करने की जरूरत नहीं है. बट it does not click with people because we are constantly on our phones, we are working on laptops, and the time is always displayed on it. So इसीलिए अलार्म क्लॉक्स की अभी उतनी डिमांड नहीं है. क्लियर? नाउ देन देयर इज इरेगुलर डिमांड. इस टाइप के प्रोडक्ट्स की डिमांड इट इज नेवर रेगुलर. ऐसे एक स्ट्रेट लाइन में कभी नहीं चलेगी, या फिर अपवर्ड ट्रेंड हमेशा रहे ऐसा नहीं होगा, या डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड हो ऐसा नहीं हो. कभी द डिमांड वुड बी वेरी हाई, एट टाइम्स द डिमांड वुड बी वेरी लो. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, दिस किड इज वेयरिंग अ रेनकोट. व्हेन वी वुड बी डिमांडिंग अ रेनकोट? In rainy season. When rains are there, raincoats would be bought. When rains are not there, raincoats are not going to be purchased by all of us. I remember an incident wherein I was traveling with my family to Haridwar. So there was rain. We did not carry our raincoats or umbrellas during that time. Yeah. So as it was raining at that time, and we had to go there, we had to stay over there, so we had to buy a raincoat. समझ में आया? तो डिमांड कब होगी रेनकोट की? जब बारिश होगी. बारिश नहीं है तो देयर वुड नॉट बी एनी डिमांड ऑफ अ रेनकोट इन आवर लाइफ्स. सो ये irregular demand depends on the cycle, on the season, on the festival, on the occasion. It might alter according to the season, according to the month, according to the week, according to the day. It depends on all of those things. Clear? So irregular demand is always cyclical or seasonal in nature. समझ में आया? सीजनल इसीलिए है क्योंकि उसको हम लोग सीजन के साथ में लिंक कर देते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, क्रिसमस ट्रीज वुड बी डिमांडेड नियर क्रिसमस ओनली. दे वोंट बी डिमांडेड इन द मंथ ऑफ ऑगस्ट. क्लियर? दिसंबर में क्रिसमस ट्रीज की डिमांड होगी, अगस्त में क्रिसमस ट्री की डिमांड नहीं होगी. इन द सेम मैनर गणेश चतुर्थी आएगी तो वहां पे गणेश मूर्तियों की डिमांड होगी. Clear? So all of these are linked with certain events, and according to those events which would be occurring, the demand would be coming in front of us. So whenever irregular demand is there, a marketer has to time his marketing campaign in such a manner that before the demand of the product arises, he starts to show his product. Clear? Then there is full demand. As the name suggests, whatever I place in the market, it would be bought. जितना भी मैं मार्केट में रखूं उतना खरीद लिया जाएगा. एग्जाम्पल ऑफ इट, फूड ग्रेन्स. पेरिनियल डिमांड है, हम सबको खाना खाना पड़ेगा, इसीलिए हम हमेशा फूड ग्रेन्स की डिमांड करते ही रहेंगे. जब तक हम जिंदा है तब तक खाएंगे, एंड till we are alive, as we are going to eat. So the demand of food grains is always going to be there. How much ever supply comes into the market, it is going to get sold. Clear? This is the example of full demand. Then there is a demand. Full demand के लिए ज्यादा marketing करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't have to do very high marketing for full demand. Just you have to say that okay, I sell this product and that's it. Nothing else can be, nothing else is required. If people are interested, they are going to come and buy your product. Then there is overfull demand. जरूरत से ज्यादा demand है. That is, supply is less than demand in this particular case. That's why it is known as overfull demand. यहाँ पे demand बहुत ज्यादा है, supply काफी कम है इसके comparison में. Now the example of it is petrol. Whatever the supply is, our demand for petroleum products is always going to be high. Okay, 100 बैरल ऑयल आ जाए तो भी हमें सप्लाई कम, डिमांड हमारी कम फुलफिल नहीं होगी, बिकॉज एवरी डे दीज प्रोडक्ट्स आर गोइंग टू गेट कंज्यूम. इफ आई am going to, if I am going out on a bike, on in a car or anyhow, then I would need oil inside it. Okay, पेट्रोल नहीं होगा, फ्यूल नहीं होगा तो काम नहीं चलेगा. गूगल मीट पे मुझे लेक्चर लेना है तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी मुझे चाहिए. ये भी एक एग्जांपल है ओवरफुल डिमांड का. इट इज नेवर गोइंग टू गेट सेटिस्फाइड. द मोर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज गोइंग टू बी प्रोड्यूस, द मोर पीपल आर गोइंग टू कंज्यूम. क्लियर? अभी यहाँ पे बाहर बादल है इसीलिए मैंने लाइट चालू की है ऊपर. द ट्यूबलाइट इज ऑन, अदरवाइज अर्लियर ट्यूबलाइट ऑन करने की जरूरत नहीं है, पर क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, that's why I switched on the tube light. Clear? So the supply is there, but the demand is always going to be more in case of a overfull demand. These requirements would never get fulfilled. Okay, कहीं ना कहीं से कुछ ना कुछ मैं ढूंढ लूंगी इसको किसी और तरह से यूज करने के लिए. इफ आई एम यूजिंग पेट्रोल इन व्हीकल, देन आई माइट बी यूजिंग इट इन सम प्लेस एल्स. आई माइट आल्सो क्लीन अ व्हाइट बोर्ड विद इट. सो एक नया तरीका है पेट्रोल को यूज करने का. In the same manner, there is unwholesome demand. As the name suggests, it is not a healthy product, yet there is a demand for it. Example of it is cigarettes. Cigarettes are not good for our health, especially during the present times. Our lungs become weak and yet people are demanding cigarettes. People are still using them. So this is something which is going to cause a sort of social evil in the system. That is, people are going to get sick, they are going to fall sick, they are going to suffer from different ailments, and due to this there would be pressure on the health system again. समझ में आ रहा है? तो ये अनहोलसम डिमांड है, ऐसी डिमांड है जो हमारे हेल्थ के ऊपर इम्पैक्ट करेगी. येट देयर इज अ डिमांड फॉर सच अ प्रोडक्ट. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज 8 टाइप्स ऑफ डिमांड्स आर गोइंग टू बी समथिंग व्हिच द मार्केटर is going to face in such a manner. When he is going to face all of these demands, the marketer first has to identify what sort of a demand is for the product that he is going to market. क्या वो फुल डिमांड है, ओवरफुल डिमांड है, लेटेंट डिमांड है, नॉर्मल डिमांड है, एक्सेस डिमांड है, अनहोलसम डिमांड है. सो in using that particular demand as the base, or the type of demand as the base, he would be devising a marketing campaign for the products that he is going to market, because this is the starting point for him. समझ में आ रहा है? Why I explained you the type of demand is because this is going to be the starting point of demand of the marketing campaign or the plan for him. He has to identify, okay, this is the product. As he already has the product, he has to identify this is the product. Okay, the demand of this product is like this, so the marketing campaign has to be undertaken like this. Clear? Now let's proceed to understand features of marketing. Features of marketing can be used, can be asked to you as a 7-mark question. So 7-mark question or 4-mark question. So आपके लिए, sorry, 4 marks in 3-mark question. So it is important for you to understand the features of marketing. Now, marketing is a science as well as it is an art. Marketing has principles that has to be followed. That is, a few set rules and regulations are there, few set procedures are there, which the marketers always try to follow. Yet the adoption of that particular principles for the product, designing of the campaign for the product, and how they can be used for the product in order to increase awareness about the product or selling the product or marketing the product, The marketer is having a full liberty of using them in the manner that he deems fit. So while there are principles in marketing that has to be followed, or the procedures that has to be followed, this becomes an art in the sense that it depends on the marketer himself as to how he interprets those particular things. For example, now that for if this chat function is non-existent in Google Meet, so when I would be asking you, are you with me? Either someone of you might have to sort of tell me after unmuting themselves that yes, we have understood you. Or I would always be having an assumption, okay, I am teaching in a very excellent manner and all of you are understanding it. समझ में आया? तो यहाँ पे दो एग्जाम्पशन है कि या तो मैं बहुत अच्छा पढ़ा रही हूँ या फिर मैं बहुत खराब पढ़ा रही हूँ, इसीलिए आप लोग बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. Now, teaching is also an art because the product, the thing is there. Okay, book में सब कुछ लिखा है, but उसको समझाना डिफरेंट तरह से वो एक आर्ट है. डिफरेंट एग्जाम्पल्स यूज करके आपको समझाए वो आर्ट है. सो इसीलिए marketing is also in the same manner. Everything is there. If a person buys a product, he is going to see as to what the product can do and what the product cannot do. या एक बार उसके हाथ में आ जाए तो उसे पता चल जाएगा कि प्रोडक्ट उसके लिए कितना यूजफुल है, हाउ अनयूजफुल इट इज फॉर हिम, और हाउ एक्सेलेंट इट इज, और हाउ बैड इट इज. बट in order to tell him that yes, you can use it for this manner also or this purpose also, it requires a certain degree of creative freedom, creative liberty or creative freedom or creative imagination on part of marketer to tell him that yes, you can use this product in this manner also. Like we have Saffola oats advertisement. All of us have seen that ad wherein the lady is hungry in the evening and she is craving to eat something in the evening, but she is not able to eat because she wants to take care about her health. So Saffola oats are saying that okay, if you want to take care of health and you are hungry during the evenings, you can have our oats. So it is a creative way of telling the person that our product can be used in this manner as well. So that's why there are principles which are followed. That is the particular demographic criteria has to be fulfilled, that she's a lady, she's a working woman, so she should be targeted, or the working people should be targeted, evening time should be targeted. These are all coming from the science behind the marketing, but showing this message that you can use it at this particular time is an art on part of the marketer. So it is a science as well as an art. Then the essence of marketing is always give and take. That is, I give information, I take money from you when you buy the product. So एक give and take, लेन देन हमेशा चलता रहेगा. I would always be giving you information. I would always try to show you my product. I will always try to explain to you why my product is very good, or why my product is beneficial to you, or why you should buy my product. All of these things would always be told by me, and in return what I expect is that I would be trying to generate a response from you. Response ka matlab either I would be trying to influence your buying decisions, or I will be trying to influence the way in which you see the things. Okay, I would try to alter all of these things in order to make you buy my product. मुझे essentially चाहिए कि आप मेरा प्रोडक्ट खरीदो जब भी मैं मार्केटिंग करूं. I would not be saying that I am just like that for doing time pass. No, I am here to sell the product, and there would be a give and take of something between these two parties, that is marketers and the prospects. हमेशा दो चीजें, कुछ ना कुछ लेन देन चलता रहेगा. इंफॉर्मेशन दिया जाएगा और अवेयरनेस बढ़ाई जाएगी. क्लियर? एज अ रिजल्ट people would buy our products, and we would be able to market our products in a better manner. We would be trying to gather insights from the people in order to market our products in a better manner, or something like that. Okay, so exchange is always there. Exchange of information and services against the money of the people or the funds that the people have would be undertaken in the market. And that is the aim of marketing. Then it is always goal oriented. Marketers always try to sell the product. Okay, they would never try to say that don't buy my product. Even if they are saying that don't buy my product, they would be saying that you should not buy my product. If they are saying, their intention is that you should buy my product. So it is always for profit. Even if there is a company which is saying that it is a non-profit organization, so even if the company is saying that I am not for profit, then also they are trying to generate a response from you. They are either trying to collect funds from you in order to undertake a different activity. So it is always for profit. That has to be taken into account. Bye, take care.